This podcast is rated PG-13. Parents strongly cautioned. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every single movie on the top 250 movies of all time list according to IMDb. We don't trust the list anymore. John, why is that?
We never trusted the list.
Yeah,
I did.
think we did.
You guys did?
I didn't. I never did.
Oh.
No, I mean, no.
Well, you guys are smarter than me.
No,
No,
it's like,
no.
I mean, early on, it was like, really? Yeah, pretty much like into week 3 or something.
It's like Beauty and the Beast kicks this off. Interesting. Okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. I don't know.
But what do we do on this podcast each week?
What do we do? We watch a movie every week. And how do we pick that movie? Well, a little over 2 years ago, we froze the IMDb top 250 list as rated by IMDb users.
Thanks a lot.
And every week we have been watching them in reverse order. And so now we're up to, I don't know, whatever. And this week
203? Or no, 103.
103.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
No.
yeah, but
Really?
it's ranked 200 and
It's
whatever.
ranked
No.
104. So this week we are watching number 147.
There you go.
There
which
you
is the
go.
2001 movie A Beautiful Mind, directed by Ron Howard. The synopsis is, after John Nash, a brilliant but asocial mathematician, accepts secret work in cryptography, his life takes a turn for the nightmarish.
Aha.
DC.
Dun,
The
dun,
movie,
dun.
otherwise known as I See Dead People for the Mentally Ill.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Russell Crowe, he did a believable job of being mentally ill. I mean, he might be. There's all those fights. After all those fights, he's getting punched so many times.
You can't fake the lazy eye. That's real, folks.
Oh, he's got a lazy eye?
Does he? have a
Kind of,
lazy eye?
doesn't he?
I don't know.
Or at least one of his eyebrows is more saggy than the other one.
He's got saggy brow.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. This is a pretty good one, I guess. There's a lot of moments that you kind of see from other movies, right? I don't know. Just seemed like, I don't know which ones came before or after, but, kind of got the Good Will Hunting feel when they're writing equations and shit on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Math montage. Nothing beats
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We're going
Exactly.
to do a math montage. You got some kind of perky music playing in the
Nope,
background.
it's the same music the entire movie plays.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then there's those like Howard Hughes moments where they're like fucking nuts in the room with all sorts of paper everywhere and
Yeah. And you got the 7
Um,
stuff with all the pins and the strings in the wall.
Exactly. There you go. See, and it seems like those were all around the same time. Maybe not I don't remember when the Howard Hughes one was out, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
had a pretty funny supporting cast. I thought I do like that guy that plays his invisible roommate. He's a good actor. He was funny.
Paul
I think.
Bentley or Bentley or
Is
something
that what
like
his name is? Yeah,
Something
sure.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't dislike this one. It's accessible and I don't know. It's got a nice little flow to it. I forgot that he was schizophrenic for some reason.
Nice.
And that those people didn't exist, even though I'd seen this years ago.
Your brain
I'm
helps
not
you
sure-
out on this list, DC.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that helps me or hinders me from giving this a good review because I obviously seen this before and forgot. So what does
Nice.
that say? But that's not saying much. Yeah, I mean, it was shot very conventional and Ron Howard did a great job. I thought it seemed like he directed the actors well, right? I mean, it didn't seem like
yeah.
consistently,
Mm-hmm.
right? There was like a nice, good character arc and story arc. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good one. It was nothing to write home about, but it's definitely not a bad movie.
Not one to win
Oh.
Best Picture, would you say?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Russell Crowe was on a tear back then.
He was, yeah.
he
This
was
is on
at the height
Crow.
of his powers. Yeah.
Crow-
Yeah,
Crowathon
so
back then.
I think that like that alone kind of brings out some of those Oscars. But yeah, I mean, happy I watched it again. That's about all I got. I mean,
That's
there's
it.
there's nothing like composition wise. It's extravagant. There's it's the storyline is decent and it doesn't get boring too often. So I mean, yeah, it's a good one. I mean, really,
That's
that's all you can hope for.
That's like I watched a mediocre movie, but I'm in a good mood type of review right there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's probably because I watched a crappy movie last night, so I'm on yeah.
But it's also got good performances in it.
Yeah.
There's some things that are well done, and I can really get where TC's coming from on it. I wouldn't just say I wouldn't call it mediocre just because there's some good star power in it. At least.
I wouldn't call it mediocre either, and that's why I think I'm having a hard time. Like, it's yeah.
I would, but I can go
guess
last.
You would go, yeah.
Yeah.
John, you guys talk because It's always good to keep positive for as long as possible, I feel.
Well, right. So we know you're going negative. That's good. You just gave that
I'm going
one.
in the middle, but I'm going to be negative just because.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I am too, is in the middle. I mean, I didn't notice anything impressive about the score. I mean, it was just like
I found the score the worst part. That the score was so annoying, and like it was pretty much a consistent song for the entire 2 hours, and it went like the same song when he was sad and when he was happy and when he was being chased.
That's true.
And it was like
That's
the
a good
same
point.
friggin' song.
Yeah, that's a good
Really?
point. Maybe it's like
I didn't notice it. I worry now. It would now that you pointed it out. It's something that would be annoying if I had noticed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there
it
is
never
nothing
stopped
worse.
either.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than that when they're regurgitating the same music for a totally different feeling part, like of the movie. But,
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say for this one, other than like, I guess maybe watch it again sometime. I don't know.
In like 10 years, and I forget that he's schizophrenic.
Yeah, I forget
again.
that he's schizophrenic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot
yeah.
that I knew he was schizophrenic, but I thought that Jennifer Connelly's character was also made up. So I was like, wait a minute, when does she become fake?
When does she go away?
Yeah, but she doesn't.
Yeah, like when
Whoops.
she's
Okay.
touching his face and she's like, "This is real." I'm like, "Is it?"
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. She's real.
Is his baby real? Only one way to find out. Put it in the bathtub.
Oh God. Oh no. Duh, he's gonna drown her.
Oh yeah.
That son of a bitch, CIA guy. Jeez, Ed Harris.
Ed Harris. Yeah.
He's
He
always
plays
a good creepy.
He always plays a
yeah.
good lawman.
yeah.
Good bad
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Like what he's doing in the HBO series now.
Westworld?
That's
Oh, is that,
Westworld,
he's
yeah.
in that, huh? I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's
In
the
a
man in
similar
black.
fashion. Yeah, he's kind of being the bad guy again.
Yeah.
Look, we love what you did in A Beautiful Mind, man. Would you mind coming on to this one?
Yeah.
Doubt that's what they said.
Hey, you're good at being an all-encompassing kind of godlike creature. Like in the
Right.
Truman Show, you want to be kind of the same thing in this guy's brain?
Yeah, that's a good point. He just kind of have that same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I guess my favorite part is when he like pushed the fucking desk out the window and just died laughing.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. I'm like,
that desk was
who
very
doesn't want to
poorly
do that?
put together, right? It just like
Yeah.
shattered into
Yeah.
a million pieces.
Who doesn't want to do that every
Yeah.
once in a
Yeah.
while, you know? The reality is you would do that and someone would
Right.
die.
Yeah.
Right.
They were
Yeah.
laughing, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, guys.
Oh, like someone
Right.
could have died
Yeah.
there.
Besides, that desk was probably like an antique too. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, he's worried about the antique over here.
yeah, I'm an old guy. He's like, Dad, Brian, that's wood, man.
I could have got
Like,
something on Craigslist.
That's
for
no
that.
not
IKEA.
particle board,
Yeah.
man.
That's no Walmart desk.
Fucking whippersnapper.
It kind of broke like a
Goddamn
Walmart
kids.
desk, though.
It did. It did.
Well, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
You know, it was a stunt desk.
Desk.
That's true. I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. It's supposed to fall apart.
Fun
easily.
fact,
Yeah.
they did that shot 7 times because Ron Howard didn't like how the desk broke in the first 6.
Oh my
Really?
God! Shoot me! Imagine being on
Oh,
that set. I'd be
man.
like, "Go home, guys."
I'm
I'm
This
just
is
going to
done.
start making up trivia. That's
I
made
bet
up.
the people for the
Oh,
ethical
was it?
treatment
Oh,
of
you
furniture were
motherfucker!
pissed off.
He
I
messed
tried-
that shit up.
I
He
made it up,
that
dude.
shit up. He
You,
made
didn't,
that
you
up.
couldn't tell I had my like nerd voice
No,
on.
your nerd voice is Denny's
Is
voice.
normal?
So
Shit.
I don't know what that
Shit.
is. Yeah.
No.
Hey.
I'm becoming a
You
know-it-all.
missed my good joke.
Oh,
too.
what was it? Sorry.
I was just saying that I bet the people for the ethical treatment of furniture were pissed off.
Oh yeah, I did miss that joke.
Yeah,
Funny. Yeah,
I heard it, but I
Sorry
ignored
about
it.
that one.
Oh, it was good. Pitfa.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say I didn't think Ron Howard was crazy like that. Like, oh, let's get the desk again. Nope, going again. Nope, going again.
It's hard to imagine him being pissed. Like, he seems like such a nice guy.
Oh, you guys tried your
It's
best.
like-
Thanks for
calm.
coming, everyone. Thanks.
He
High
seems
fives.
calm.
All right.
Yeah.
You missed it. Oh, sorry.
No,
There you
no.
go.
Sorry, no, we're gonna have to. Nope, sorry.
guys,
no, maybe he'd laugh
yeah.
nervously. He'd be like a nervous laugh.
Back
guy.
to one, guys. Back to one. Back to one. Yeah.
No idea.
No idea.
So, John, what did you think?
That's about all I got, John. What do you got?
John?
So for 2 or 3 years, I was I worked with people who had schizophrenia.
Yes, I love where this is going.
so I mean, I need to be careful what I say. I mean, I don't. It's still not a very well understood illness, and initially it used to be thought that it was progressive, and meaning that once you had it, you're
It got
just going to
worse.
get worse. Yeah,
Interesting.
and you're just screwed, and you're going to get worse. It's still sort of, there's mixed results in terms of how much you can recover and to what extent you can recover without medication. There's certainly not like a clear sense. It's a terrible, tragic illness, though. I mean, you may be a little bit odd or whatever, but you go along and it really then hits you, say, in your early 20s, late teens, or late 20s, and it just hits you.
Damn.
And from then on, you are it's then a real struggle. And anybody who deals with it, anybody who cares for somebody who deals with it is a goddamn hero.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's really what you see on the street a lot of times, right? When the people are just talking to themselves, poor things.
Well, and you gotta, the things that we hear, see, and think, that none of those are real either. It's coherent. The things we see, our eyes are doing all kinds of translation, and our brains do even more translation, or the things we hear.
We should get high for this convecation, guys. Let's get friggin' high. Nothing's real.
Sorry.
No, I'm just joking. Good thing here.
Yeah,
bad joke, Denny.
Thank you.
That's all right. I had one. Yeah. So the point is, we trust that. You have to trust it. You have to believe what you hear and see and think. You have to do that. That's part of normal functioning. And so if there's something that's amiss about your sensory, it's not an easy thing to just not believe it. It's actually, then it becomes like that's your reality. It's just as real as what we hear or see or think. And that's what makes it so hard, so challenging, amongst other things. But then there are also like negative symptoms that you have where that's like more like it's hard to talk, or it's hard to like emote. Like you're slow, you have a slowness of thinking and thought, or what they call thought blocking, where you can't get a thought out, or talking. It's like really hard to respond. That's kind of the negative symptoms of schizophrenia, which this movie doesn't really portray too much. This
focuses on the paranoia. Well, it focuses on the paranoia and the hallucinations, which is
right. So those are positive symptoms, and so those
positive
are
symptoms?
like so
let him
positive.
explain.
I mean, they're negative.
No,
symptoms,
I just want to ask questions of what.
Yeah. Because it doesn't sound like something that's positive, but it's a different kind of meaning.
Positive in the word additive, not happy. Positive meaning. So you have negative symptoms when you're sort of like seemingly to do less than a normal person would, or somebody who didn't have the illness. And so that's like, speaking less, moving less, being slower. And the positive symptoms are you sort of doing more than a person would, like actively thinking more, like being more paranoid or hallucinating. Like you're having more things are happening to you than a normal person. Is kind of the reason, the way they call it positive symptoms. So you can have both. The negative ones are actually harder to treat. But
so when they go hole up in their brain, like it's even more difficult because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, again, and I do not claim to be an expert in any way, shape, or form on this stuff. So
I don't know, John. I think you do.
You were it was your job for a bit. So
I mean, I mean, I feel like you're more of an expert than any of us, and probably most of our listeners.
Well, but so some of the things, any movie that just tries to shed light on this stuff is worthwhile, and it's really interesting. I think him seeing people wasn't something that Nash actually said he saw. So he had the paranoid delusions and things like that, where he thought there was government conspiracy, or like everybody who wore a red tie was part of the Communist Party, or things like that. But he didn't actually see people, and that's a pretty unusual thing. Even when you have hallucinations or whatever, you don't necessarily, they're not like characters so much.
It's all in your head, like you think you're talking to somebody.
Yeah, right. I mean, so and again, maybe it's just as much easier and just simplifies things a whole hell of a lot to just put them out there like that, to tell the story. And fine. I think it just sort of
it was definitely a decision made to make it a movie that made sense to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it's harder to show like internally what's going on, and I think that would be difficult, right?
Yeah,
so,
it would be a lot of zooming into like the side of Russell Crowe's head and then hearing voices over it or something.
Right,
and the experience would just be So I think that fine, whatever, it just gives you an impression. I think there's controversy to some extent. Like Nash himself said that he stopped medications, and he got over.
He never took them outside of being hospitalized, is what he said.
Right, and
I mean, dude, those medications they were given back then for fucking Thorazine and all that other shit. That's heavy duty stuff, lithium and all that.
The side effects, like you can get what's called tardive dyskinesia, where it means your muscles contort, and there is no cure for it.
Jesus,
awesome.
So that really flips a switch. Some of those drugs.
Some of the older antipsychotics, but even the newer ones, they're still yucky side effects. They're not pleasant.
Right. Like Effexor and Seroquel and all those other ones. No, I don't know anything about this.
Wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a world where drugs only had positive effects and no negative effects?
Oh, man, I'd be taking all of them. I'd be taking all of them. Yeah.
And John, you definitely don't sound like you know what you're talking about, by the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're not an expert at all.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean, and the other thing too with the electroshock therapy, I mean, that's always heavy hitting stuff in a movie.
Yeah, that's insulin shock therapy. What they did was they would put you in a coma, basically. They would like shoot you full of insulin and your body would end up going into a coma. So there was really no evidence that this was a good thing.
But hey, it's to put them out for a bit.
It just, yeah, exactly. I mean,
maybe kill them and then we have them off our hands or something.
It was widely
fucked
used in hospitals. I mean, there's an interesting story about that treatment because it only slowly sort of came to light that it really didn't do any good.
Right. Because I mean, I feel like that would take a lot of years of data collection before you could even say if efficacy is good or bad, right?
Right.
I mean,
but you have some medicine that in some ways it's kind of like folklore. It's just like kind of handed around and there are treatments where, especially when you have a case of something like schizophrenia, when a person who's suffering from a psychotic break, they're going nuts, right? They're all over the walls. You want to do whatever you can to sedate them,
which is where Thorazine comes in, right?
Yeah. Right. So it's like, so these things, you basically knock somebody out, and that's like, that makes everybody else feel better, at least, and them too, while they're passed out, I guess.
Right. I thought the drool was a good touch because that's absolutely what happens to those.
So it's hard. It's hard maybe not to. I mean, to jump on any kind of treatment that's very sedating and be like, all right, well, that's
I mean, let's be honest. Any kind of medication that just flatlines you, whether it's mental or literally physically, I mean, that's not a fun thing for anybody. If you have a problem or you don't have a problem,
right?
I mean, you take that stuff over time. I mean, I did notice that was the part of the story that rang true for me is like taking medication and then not functioning anymore, like doing what you want to do. And what he wanted to do was think. And thinking for him was detrimental in society, but for him, it was like all he had. So you take that away from him and he's even worse. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, totally. You got it right, TC. And yeah, I completely agree with that. And that's where it sort of becomes a bit controversial. And so I think they were worried in the movie. So they have him make like one little line in there that he's saying that he's taking the modern antipsychotics.
Yeah.
He like mentions it, but they intentionally put that in the movie because they didn't want to send the message with the movie that, hey,
it's all outdated.
If you're somebody who has schizophrenia, you should just stop taking your meds and think your way through it. Because
that could be a dangerous lesson.
Oh, dude, I had a roommate that had it, and it was fucking ridiculous when he stopped taking his meds.
Yeah,
that's brutal, man.
Like you say, TC, though, it's hard because you lose. It's a double-edged sword for the person taking the meds, right?
Well, right.
Like,
because really, the meds are helping all the people around that person in a sense, and
helping them too, because it's like the psychotic.
Well, no, I know, but like in the sense of like being a functional human being to oneself, like it's not really. Like, it's only helping them until they realize that they're not doing what they want to do, and then it's not a good thing anymore. And they still have to take the pills, and if they don't, then they have worse side effects, and then they start to lose it even more, and it's a whole fucking thing. Be glad that we don't have these problems. So that's the one good thing about this movie is that it brings up this topic, and now we're talking about it like this. That's good. But
it's certainly, again, I don't know. Ron Howard, this is what he seems. He does a lot of movies, but he did this with Rush too. It's like, yeah, let's go. We got some history here, but we can kind of loosely hang to it.
Yeah.
And then like Cocoon, he's like, oh, we got some history here, and he did a movie about that.
Nice. Just saw some old guys in the
TC,
pool.
Cocoon is a movie about an alien egg that lands at a retirement home, and a bunch of old people meet aliens.
Yep.
Sounds riveting.
But anyway, sorry, John.
Yeah. Oh, anyway.
I'm just trying to derail you as much as possible.
Yeah, it's fine. That's your
typical
job.
Denny.
Yep.
Yeah. I've talked. I mean, I think I said all I want to say about that. Really, it's just. I just think it closed by just how I started. It's just people who deal with this stuff are total heroes. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
Both caregivers and people who suffer from the illness. It's just
not an easy thing.
It's tough,
and a
people
lot of
fight it, and that's amazing. It's amazing how people fight just to be normal, and how much how brave of a thing it is. But anyway, so I can talk about other things about the movie. I thought one thing I really liked. First, Crow's performance. I thought he was great. I thought he would he was really sympathetic the way he showed what he was going through. Sometimes, often without saying a lot. I thought he did a really good job. He's like playing initially what he's playing kind of that arrogant asshole sort of character, but he does it in kind of a nerdy way that makes him still likable, I thought. And so in terms of how he played the character, I thought, he did a really good job of like trying to show his eccentricity, but still like being likable. What I really liked is how even the math buddies that he had, even though they just sort of were annoyed by him and would make fun of him, they still kind of were his buddies. And I thought that I just liked how that played out, like that they were still kind of there for him.
Well, it's because they're all like the super elite math genius people, and there's nobody else in the world like them, so they have to be
fair enough.
friendly.
Fair enough, but it just still wasn't like, oh, no one liked the guy because he was a jerk kind of thing. And I don't know, it was played nicely amongst all the cast. I thought I kind of just liked how that worked. But yeah, and then who doesn't like Paul Bettany? Come on,
Is his name
Paul
Bethany? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Bettany. I don't know, Bettany.
Bettany.
But he's
Is that the
awesome, no matter
blonde
what he-
guy? Is that the prodigal roommate?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
so
he's
likable.
funny. He is really likable.
He was in Master and
He
Commander.
was in A Knight's Tale
Ah.
too. He
Also
was the-
opposite of Russell Crowe in
Yeah.
Master and Commander.
Oh, was he? I should see Master and Commander
You
again. I
haven't
forget that he
Oh
was in
yeah,
Oh,
he's
no,
the
again.
doctor.
a long time
Oh,
ago.
right.
Yeah,
That's a
He's
good
great.
fucking movie.
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Big budget.
I think that movie was up against. Was that up against this movie for Best Picture?
I don't
Oh,
know
Oh,
why.
really?
Well,
So
yeah.
Russell
It couldn't have
Crowe,
been.
either one.
Couldn't have been.
I'm gonna win
Couldn't
either
have
way.
No, I thought Master and Commander was a little bit later.
2003. Yeah. Never
Yeah.
mind.
This is 2001, huh? Holy
Yeah.
shit! How the time goes by.
Dude,
Jesus
Russell
Christ.
Crowe had a fucking decade, didn't he? Jesus.
He really
Yeah.
did. If he's got no money left, it's on him
Yeah.
because he should have plenty.
Yeah. He's got a couple Oscars to sell, probably. How many did he win?
Yeah,
Just one?
I
Two?
don't know.
Couple?
Well, didn't he get some? Did he get some for Gladiator? I
He
don't
got one for
remember.
Glad.
One of my favorite
Wait.
movies. Fucking love. Holy shit! His net worth is 100 mil. He's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
okay.
He's probably fine. I don't know. Johnny Depp's supposed to be good too, though, but he's not. So,
Well, yeah.
him a
Oh
couple
well, yeah,
years.
but that's what cocaine does to you.
yeah, he won for Gladiator, not for this one, but he did get nominated for this one. So, yeah, keep going, John. What else you got movie wise?
Yeah, movie wise, I had lots of feelings about it, whether it portrays schizophrenia in a true way or not. But other than that, it's still sort of an interesting film to watch. It's an inspiring
Did you believe the
film.
romance there? Somewhat
I
loaded
don't-
question because you know what I think about it.
Oh,
I
you're
guess
probably
so, I'm
not.
sure. I think it's so they don't really. It's hard to say. Probably not. What happens in these films or in films a lot, I think sometimes too. It's like you have the female character there is to play the romantic interest, and that's her job, and then that's like kind of what she's there for. So you sort of like believe Russell's side of it, but she's not given as much to do except be worried or fret or whatever. You don't really. I don't know.
She's
So it
supposed to
just
be somewhat smart, but they only touch on it like in the beginning.
I know. Yeah, I know. And then she's just there. I mean, she's there to serve this purpose in the film.
She likes him
Yeah.
because he's a genius, and he likes her because she's young and hot, right?
Yeah.
She is beautiful. I have
She
to
is.
But
say.
yes, there is that. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's just I was moved by his speech. You know, even the one that he didn't give in real life, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and
So I
that he was-
actually like
yeah.
going through the movie. I was like, all right, this is a weird relationship. If I read up on this later and realize that like all this is true, and the reason it's so weird is because they had to admit a bunch of stuff, that would make sense. But they rewrote the relationship for the movie, and I didn't think it made any sense within the
a
movie.
little bit. Yeah. Well, they didn't. So he had a first wife and a kid from her that was not mentioned at all.
Oh yeah, TC, do you know about that?
Which one?
So the John Nash had a different girl. I don't think they ever married, right?
Did they get married?
No, I don't
Oh,
think so. He
maybe
just
not.
he had a
Okay.
kid with this other woman, but then he abandoned the kid and the woman because they were lower class than he was.
Get the fuck
Well,
out of here.
Yeah.
Reportedly, I mean, I don't know. Does
Reportedly,
he's-
by many
Oh,
people.
yeah. Yes, I know.
So he's
but-
a prick.
Yes,
He's,
a
an
huge
elite.
prick.
He's an elitist and a prick, and he's smart.
Yep.
All right.
And also,
Nice.
he got divorced from Alicia. Is that her name? Whatever his like the
painter?
Jennifer Connelly character is.
Jesus, you don't get
her
rid of the
second-
painter.
What? So he actually got married to
Jennifer
her,
Connelly
and then
divorced.
Yes, then they divorced while they were going through all this stuff, and then after he got the Nobel Prize, they got back together.
Right, but it was after he was living in her house as a roommate,
Right,
pretty much for
right.
years, and they only got back together because he won the award.
But she was helping
Wow.
him, I think, even after they'd separated.
Hey,
right?
honey,
To
you
some
know
extent.
it's not the Peace Prize, right? It's not the Nobel Peace Prize.
It's the thinky one.
It's the thinky
You
one, and
dumbass.
not the lovey one, right?
Yeah,
Jeez.
and he also had they also could have touched on his bisexual part of his relationship.
He's
He would
bi, is he?
yeah, he like did some, I don't know, somewhat risque things and kind of creepy in college. Like he would sneak into people's beds and things like that and try to try to hook up with them and stuff, like reportedly.
Whoa.
So there's a whole section there about that, which isn't touched on.
Well, I mean, you're not going to put that in the movie.
You could,
Yeah,
Eh,
you could.
It's not an autobiography. It's a movie.
but it's about him.
Eh,
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
I mean, all right, so if it's not about him, it's about the relationship, and the relationship is not that good, or it's about the mental illness, and it's not accurate.
Right.
So, like,
So
what? It's
Fucking
like a
A.
Hollywood. It's like this movie. I wrote down as the first note, or like the first, big bolded note. This movie is very movie-y.
Right.
Like
Are you
it's-
blaming the movie for being a movie?
I'm blaming it for being too movie.
Too movie-ish.
no,
Yeah.
What
Movie.
is this? You are too movie.
You know,
movie.
sometimes we
movie
watch
movie.
movies that are like too play-y, and sometimes they're very realistic.
We're making up
Yeah.
all these stupid words that don't exist. To
This
define
movie's
a
not realistic.
movie.
It's not play-y, but it's very movie-y.
Ooh.
I see your point.
Like and you guys are talking about how good of actors they are. They're
it's
showing the
dramaticized.
emotions they're supposed to, but they're not doing it in ways where I believe that they really feel that way. You know what I mean? Like it seems
right.
like when Jennifer Connelly loses her shit and she like smashes the thing, I'm like, all right, that was kind of confusing. It seemed to come out of absolutely nowhere. It didn't like
That did actually come out of nowhere. And plus,
Yeah.
you're gonna just smash the mirror in fucking your hand. Come on, pick up
Yeah.
something.
yeah, that looked. That. I mean,
but that's supposed to be her Oscar scene. And she won an Oscar for this movie.
but she did.
She did.
Huh.
And
I mean,
I
it
don't know, man.
happens.
Like it could have been like the editing that it didn't flow and I didn't just buy. Nothing seemed natural. Like it seemed very stilted in the dialogue and like all the stupid
Stilted.
math metaphors to be like, ha, this is a math movie. Oh, if you calculate the percentage I'm going to get laid tonight, and you're like, this movie is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
people that are mathematicians probably don't use math terms to talk to normal people. I wouldn't think. I
They
don't know any
might.
math
I don't know
geniuses,
these people. Do you know these people?
but I don't. No.
No.
I'm making assumptions here, but
You're like you plus me plus one, huh? What do you think, huh? Three, huh? You're like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, I wonder how you
TC just entertaining himself over here.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Numbers, man.
Oh, yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you like. I mean, Rush was a very similar, not very similar. I mean, Rush was similar where he took like a story and built from there to make a Hollywood movie. More so. Like they had an idea of what they wanted, and then they took they based on real life or whatever, and made what I thought was an entertaining movie, which I still thought was sort of made for a really interesting story. I think it's the same thing here. On one hand, it's like what they're doing. They're saying, yeah, based on true events or whatever, but then they're deciding to make what they think is an interesting story out of it and just making it more of a Hollywood story. So you're not going to, they want the focus to be on his battle with the illness. And so you don't, anything else might be more of a distraction in terms of like, so it's not about his actual life or anything like that. It's really more like, all right, let's just, let's sort of like make the story
a theme
what it
from
is.
his life and make a movie out
Right.
of it and just throw his real name in there because why not?
And that might mean why where maybe you start to feel it doesn't feel very real in some ways because it feels like it's all like set up to play out in a certain way.
But I read about it afterwards, so it was during the movie.
Mhm.
And actually, so this movie, I was on the fence until one scene, and I laughed out loud at a scene I was not supposed to laugh out loud at because it was bad. If you guys ever rewatch this movie, there's one scene, and I thought it was going to continue being bad, but it was really just this one scene when he's in his room writing on the window or whatever, and he's like. He
He's in
says
the
like, I
library,
can't see
right?
it. I can't see it. No, he's in his room. He's like, I can't see it. I can't see it. And then he just out of nowhere smashes his head into the glass. And his roommate's like, whoa, dude, whoa. What's going on with you, man? It doesn't make any sense. You guys don't even remember this part?
I remember it. No, I remember it.
He's
I remember
why does
it.
he smash his head into the window?
Wasn't that prior? Was that prior to the desk being thrown out?
That was good question. I don't know.
I think
Might have
it was
been
the
right
same
then.
Scene.
Might have been
I think
that
it
scene, yeah.
culminated with the desk being thrown out.
Could have been. Yeah, that sounds about
Um,
right.
Yeah, I didn't mind.
I don't know.
It didn't bother me either.
His
That was
finger
supposed to be-
twitching is like, oh, I can't find it.
It's supposed to be because he's at that point he's not living up to his potential, right? He's somehow there's some breaking point that has to happen where he's going to figure it all out, but you have to first see his struggle. Like Tom Cruise gets in the car crash before he gets better, kind of thing.
Vanilla
I don't know.
Sky?
I'm just thinking of all.
I
the
was
Tom
thinking, I'm like,
Cruise
is that the
movies.
Vanilla Sky
no,
one?
No,
Yeah.
we're like he was always like he was the best bartender, best fighter pilot, best whatever race car driver. He was in a string of movies like that, and then something tragic happens, but then he gets back up into it. So anyway, Bad
Sure.
analogy.
Yeah,
Silence.
sure.
I'm trying to
Sure on that one.
Trying to wrap my head around
following
that
one. Yeah, right.
Anyway, never mind.
Never mind.
I mean, I
Uh,
didn't know. It didn't stick out to me as laughably bad, but
Yeah,
I'll
I
have to
rewound
check
it a
again.
couple times because I was laughing pretty hard, and it feels good to laugh. So I tried to elongate it until I got bored, and I was like, "Oh shit! Now I'm gonna hate this movie. Why did I do that to myself?"
Aw.
Wow. This is what Denny, ladies and gentlemen, this is how
Yeah.
Denny's mind works.
Uh-huh.
It's a
Sitting there,
beautiful
I
mind,
know.
if you will.
Denny's talking to himself. I go, no, I'm going to hate it.
Ah,
I'm gonna hate
God
it.
damn it! Why did I do that to
hate
myself?
this
I'm fucking
Oh,
idiot.
I'm gonna go smash my head in the fucking the window. Fuck you, Denny. And he's talking to
Ask
himself.
Naomi if you're writing
Yeah.
on the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, we're a little concerned about Denny. I
I
think he might
don't
be
like
losing
it.
it.
I don't like it.
4 bratwursts plus 3 bratwursts equals 8. Denny, you're bad at math, and why are you writing
shit.
sausage numbers? You idiot.
Jesus Christ. You just made it worse for yourself.
Yes,
on
I
that one.
did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Did it.
I don't know. I think the music was the reason I didn't like it. Just
Yeah.
like put that out there. It was like saccharine, Hollywood. Really, really wanted to win Best Picture. Like you could
I was
hear
trying
it
to be like,
asking
yeah,
for the Best
yeah.
Picture Oscar. Just like, please give me
Give me
the
the
Oscar. This is what you
Oscar.
like. This is the same music as the other ones.
Is that really what you hear when you listen to the music?
Yeah, it is.
John, we need to maybe take a note of this.
I'm a
and,
little worried about him.
Yeah.
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 Do you guys not want me to be so negative on it? I can switch.
No, no, be
keep
negative,
going,
please.
Keep going. I'm
Please.
just trying to see what else this guy. So this is James Horner who did the music.
Yeah, and he got nominated for it too. But luckily, Lord of the Rings beat it this year.
Ah.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, was that? Oh, really? For Best Picture, that was Return of the King, right?
No, so the score for Fellowship won over
Oh, the
this one.
score. Gotcha. Oh, that
Yeah.
was it's a good. That's definitely a good score.
Did you guys think it was kind of weird? So, question time. Do you guys have any more thoughts on the movie? I got some questions about the plot.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
Go
okay
for
with it. Moving on.
So, these are all kind of reasons I wasn't into this movie. He's supposed to be a genius, right? But
Okay.
he gets pissed off at people. He's like a Rick Sanchez. You guys ever watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a Rick Sanchez character where he's like, classes are for smart people. Like it's a waste of time going to class and all this stupid stuff. Does he not? I mean, he's supposed to be smart. Does he not understand that not everyone's as smart as him and that people actually need to learn things to have jobs?
Well,
Maybe.
I mean, in those cases too, though, he's being competitive too, or maybe he doesn't. For who knows? Maybe he doesn't function well in classrooms. I mean, maybe it's just not. He doesn't do well in there, so he's not going to be. There are people that can be pretty smart, but not very insightful as far as how other people function. So that's not an unusual sort of thing.
But he's kind of like a logic-driven person, isn't he? Couldn't he? And he thinks about things a lot. Don't you think he'd be like, well, I'm smart. They're not as smart, so they need more help to make a living. Period. Then you're
yeah,
fine. Then you're done.
I mean, just because you're smart doesn't mean you have empathy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the word. So I mean, he's just.
But it's just a
pretty
fact, though. It's not
self-focused.
really empathy. Like it's
Well,
just
no,
a,
Yeah, it is. You'd have to have an empathetic brain and have some humility inside you. And usually the people that are smart, their ego is so big, they don't have any of that
Right,
shit.
or you just don't think about it. You just don't bother seeing anything from other people's perspective. You just
Right.
don't see it. You just don't. It's not worth the effort or anything. You're just like, I don't need classes. I don't know why you guys need classes.
Yeah,
That's
like,
just
what's
weird.
wrong with you people? You're not as smart as me? Come on.
But
This is easy. Yeah. I mean, I feel that way all the time about other people, and I'm wrong because I'm dumb. You know what I mean? So hey, what are you gonna say? I mean, people are stupid.
yeah.
Well, they have blind spots, or that happens all the time.
The scene where Jennifer Connelly asked the workers to move, that would never happen.
No. All right, honey. You have a good one, huh?
Oh, you want us to pick up all of our heavy machinery and move it
Yeah.
somewhere else because you're...
Yeah, in that area too, there'd be like
In
some
Boston?
in Boston, there'd be like some other dude that would grab another jackhammer. He's like, "Oh, is it too loud, boy? Yeah, go fuck yourself, right? And he's flipping her off,
Oh, sure. Dude, you see that? It's Jennifer Connelly hanging out the window. I'll do whatever she says.
Oh, we'll go move down the way. No worries. Yeah, get out of here.
Nope.
Come on.
Oh, she's pretty. We do whatever pretty girls say.
Hey, we
Yeah,
listened to what she
sure.
said and we went away from her. You think she's going to bang
Yeah.
one of us?
Oh yeah, my boss won't care if I just stop for 45. No worries. Like, get out of town.
We didn't have
Yeah,
hard set deadlines for where we're going to dig in the ground. Let's go dig somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how this
it's a big
works.
campus. There's got to
We
be
got a lot of
somewhere
holes
else to dig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just take another one from the list.
I did find that very just kind of stupid because that would definitely never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a totally fair point.
And it was also weird. I mean, it's a student. And he's like, hey, I have a hot student so I'm going to fuck her. That's okay. I'm Russell Crowe.
Well, it's not his student. He's just guest. Isn't he guest
It's
speaking
his
that
student,
day?
isn't it? I thought.
No, that was his. I think that was his student, wasn't it?
Well, he's
He
the
just never
actual
went to
teacher the
class.
whole time.
I think so. He just
I
never
thought
went
that
to
was
class.
just him going to do like he had to go.
No,
for some
she
reason.
comes into his
teaching.
office once and she's like, hey, where were you? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, good point. Yep, you're
Yeah.
right. Shows how much I'm following. Who's the dumb now?
Doesn't really matter though, TC. He's banging
No,
Jennifer
I mean-
Connelly. You see, as soon as her first second of her in the movie, you're like,
I
he's
mean,
gonna
when you
fuck her.
put it like that, Denny. Yeah, I don't know, man. That is something fucked up, right? You're not supposed to bang your students.
No, but it's totally fine. I mean, it did
Yeah,
happen.
well,
She
happens
was
a lot, but
well, it doesn't. Not to say it doesn't happen, but
I mean, at least it
Right.
happens at that in if that
College.
age, everyone's of
yeah,
age.
college
right?
is
Like,
better
it's
than
not
high
some
school.
fucked
That's
up
for
shit.
sure.
Yeah.
But also, isn't there like a conflict of interest there, sort of thing?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, you're getting fired, right? I mean, these
I don't
days you'd
know.
have a video, you'd be social media, they'd all know, the
In
kids would
college,
talk
would it?
about it.
I don't know about college. You hear about like the high school teachers getting fucked on that, but I've never seen a college one ever get in trouble.
Yeah, it's because they just get let go and no one hears about it.
And it's not like a felony or whatever it is.
Right. You're not in trouble with the law, but you're in trouble with the dean.
Yeah, that's true.
And plus, I mean, any private organization isn't going to want a lawsuit on their hands because you're banging your student. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's true. You guys ever use math to pick up girls at a bar?
Huh. You think I can do math?
That's cute. Hey, check this out. I order a
so,
drink.
like,
you order a
I was
drink.
thinking, right?
That's
yeah,
three.
right. Like
Let's-
1, 2, but it costs like 6 a piece. So, like, if I give her a 15, am I good?
If you
No,
count in tax and
definitely
tip.
not.
No.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what she would say. Did you include tax? Oh no, I didn't. Thanks, appreciate it.
Did you buy
No, I
the
don't
arc where he
do
was
that.
using the same line to Jennifer Connelly and she's like into it and the other person slapped him?
Oh, did he use the same line to her too? I
Kind
didn't
of.
notice that.
It was a little longer, but he was kind of like, I want to do all the things and skip over the things and just get laid or whatever.
Right.
Ah, man, imagine if that actually worked.
I'm sure it does sometimes, right? Depending on how attractive the people are in relationship to the other person and stuff. It's always a
Yeah,
factor.
no, you're probably right. There's definitely people out there that probably get laid a lot more than I do. They use that one all the time. So
Yeah.
you're right.
What happens in the scene where he goes with Ed Harris, who doesn't exist, to
Mm.
the secret base?
Yeah, where's the base?
Are we all
Is it
just
all in
like,
his head?
is that like just imagine it? Like,
Yeah.
there's a guy at the gate who checks their IDs and stuff. Like, they show later on, there's kind of in his back hut, there's
right.
another secret base, but like, he goes into a large warehouse with security in front of it. Is that
Right.
entire thing like in his head?
I think so.
Because they don't do that very
Gotta be.
frequently and it's confusing.
I think I sort of thought that initial time he actually, when he went in there that first time and cracked that one code for them, that was real.
I think it was real, yeah.
And then he saw the Ed Harris character like out of the corner of his eye in that building, but then Ed found him later outside of that. So that my thought was just that they were just sort of setting it up that he was doing some actual work, and he was actually solving a problem for them. And then after that, that's when Ed got him, and Ed was completely separate from that building and those people.
Got it.
Once Ed started talking to him,
That would make more sense. Because, I mean, you can't really fake the whole building with all the fucking tape.
Yeah,
equipment.
right, yeah.
Like, come on.
Unless he's like in an abandoned warehouse and he's just like poking around old abandoned shit and he's just imagining it being all there and working, but he's getting like
Right.
splinters and tetanus and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like a empty Ames.
Yeah.
Remember that
Yeah.
store? It's like an empty
Ames,
Ames.
holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing in there but shopping carts, those ugly plastic ones, and he's just walking around, and it's all like the.
Rusted metal countertop
Yeah, and
things.
he's like, "Oh shit, look at that! I can see through the holes of the cart." Fuck. I'm glad you remember Ames. I'm not the only one. That's
oh,
funny.
dude, I forgot about Ames for probably 15 years. Holy shit. It's the
Yeah,
first time I've thought
that's
about
all.
it in forever.
Call back.
It's like the worst Sears.
Oh my god, Sears was a beaut compared to that place.
Sears is still around, isn't it?
It sure is. They're doing
Surprisingly.
they just did a deal with Amazon to do like tire stores where like you order them on Amazon, you pick them up at Sears.
Huh. That's
It's actually a pretty good idea
not bad.
because they put them on like the Sears team is like tasked with actually doing the work for you.
Can you imagine
but
you're
you
hired
go
at
through
Sears
Amazon.
15 years ago and you're like, oh, I'm a salesman. I sell shirts and pants and lawnmowers. 15 years later, all right, guys, we're not doing so good. You got to learn how to put a tire on, okay?
You're doing tires.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're doing tires now. No,
But
forget
I'm
about the
old
polos.
now. Well, you're fired then.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a whole part of like Sears. But yeah, right. Sears in itself, I don't think really exists like it used to, like we remember it.
Do you guys think the Star Trek was stupid? I'm loading these
Oh,
questions,
yeah.
but sorry. But yeah.
Yeah. So the Star trick was like
He's
like,
like,
hey,
pick a thing, say umbrella, and then I'll point randomly at the thing and be like, hey, check it out. I'm a math guy
and
over
she's
here.
like, wow.
Yeah. Do it
that
again. Do it again.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I mean, it was cutesy.
Was
It
it?
still was cute. Yeah.
I don't know.
Cece's a softie. Come on.
Yeah, I am a softie. I got a hard shell, and this is like this little wimpy little inside, you know? Nothing I can do. I got an umbrella in the sky, too. You know?
Russell Crowe's kissing was gross. Thoughts?
Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't
was.
focus on it.
He goes-
I didn't really.
he goes in.
I did not study it.
He goes
so-
in limp-lipped and he's just smushing it around. He does like the thing that girls are supposed to do where like the mouth is limp and his like bottom lip's just kind of hanging open and she's the one doing all the sucking on the lips. It's gross.
Oh, God. When you put it that way, Denny, it just sounds...
That's
I'm
not
just
terrible.
describing the scene, dude. It's not my fault.
It sounds so terrible, you know?
I got in there, man. I really got in there during that scene.
Kid's slow-moing it. He's rewinding. He's like, oh, look. The lip's limp. It's down. The mouth is open.
You're getting it. I'm teaching you
Jesus.
guys how to really watch a movie. This is how you do it. All right. Note time. I have a lot of
Note
notes.
time?
This movie was pretty long. What do you guys
Does
think
it
about
just say
like?
over
Do you
and
have any
over and over again, I
notes
don't
that
like this
you can't
movie?
read? Because I always
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
those are
You
my
can't
favorite
read the
notes,
note?
too.
Yeah.
Denny don't
Wait.
like. Denny don't like.
Way too mathy as a couple. I mean, I can read that one. Sorry, I thought.
Way too mathy as a couple. What does that mean?
I think it
'cause
means they're always
doing
just
math?
like, I
think you're
miscalculated how much water to put in the baby's
Denny,
bath.
Denny, are you anti-math? Do you have a problem with math?
Well, his whole life is
Do we
math,
need to
right?
talk about
I'm an
this?
electrical
Isn't it-
engineer, dude.
Like his
I
whole
know
life
math.
is math. He can't stand math. Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of the problem, I think, too, is that this movie, I don't know how you would do a movie like this with very difficult math, and I don't know this math. I'm not going to pretend to.
Me either.
There were still like I'm familiar with some of the symbols on there, but I haven't done that for like 10 years. And I certainly didn't get to the level the mathematicians in college do.
Oh.
But it comes off in such like you don't need to worry about this. Like it doesn't even try to teach it to you. It kind of bugs me, but I don't know how else you're supposed to do something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I felt
Dude,
Yeah.
you're talking to someone that knows, addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication, and that's
yeah.
it. So
Can we think of? I mean, I'm sure there've been other movies that you're dealing with pretty. I mean, Imitation Game was another one. Yeah, that had to deal with some pretty complex stuff that they can't really like tell you exactly the details of what it is they're dealing with. I mean, this is probably an extreme case too. I mean, there's no way we're going to understand even like the basics of some of this stuff unless you know the field. So it's tough. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how you're going to do it. And it's more just like, I don't know. It's just
I want to
like
know
the
if it's
same
even
thing.
real.
Oh yeah.
Are they just making it up?
Well,
It's real.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
They
See,
actually,
I'm so low on the level
Yeah.
there. I have no idea. I'm like they could be totally making that up. I have no idea if that's true or not.
when so I listened to the commentary and Ron Howard was like, this is actually pretty impressive, the scene where Russell Crowe is introducing himself and putting the problem up there. Like the problem is a real problem and Russell Crowe is just reciting his lines and acting and writing math on the board. I'm like,
Wow.
that actually is kind of difficult probably if you don't know the
Yeah.
math.
Or if I mean, you're right. That's true.
You're just memorizing symbols pretty
And
much.
you're memorizing how you did it, and you must have run through it a million times.
Yeah.
Just-
'Cause he certainly doesn't understand what it is, but he's just
No, and
getting
it looked
right.
convincing
Yeah.
that he was writing it down with like no issue.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I guess, yeah, that's good. I mean, I think it's probably more cool to like be an actor that can memorize math when he needs to than like studying math.
Yeah.
This is why I never took any of those classes because they were like, nah, kid, you're fucked. Go back to skateboarding. You're not going this class.
What did you get in algebra? B minus. No, you're not going to make it, kid. You're not going to make
Yeah,
it.
no, I was more like a C minus. You just
C-minus.
passed. You just passed.
Yeah. Do enough to get by. Let's see. Here's one. She slaps smatter dude out of town. That's a good one, right?
She slaps dude out of town.
She slaps smatter dude out of Twan.
what the hell are you talking about?
He's trying to read his notes. and he
TC
can't
one is
do
one
it.
where I couldn't read
Yeah.
it. And that's one
Yeah.
right there.
All right, well done, sir.
Yes,
you have
I found
accomplished
one.
the mission.
That's the one for the podcast.
Yeah,
There you
try
go.
to think about that one. Yeah. I thought it was a stupid misdirection when like the doctor was sticking the sedative and what's his name, and it cuts to his face and he's licking his lips. He's like, "Yeah, we're getting this guy." You know, like he's supposed to look evil in that shot, and he's real, and he shouldn't be licking his lips because he's not evil. He's just trying to help.
Ooh, he's a doc.
Doesn't make sense.
Docs are evil. I don't know about you.
Does that not bother you guys when movies do things like that?
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
So when they tackle him, like the real doctor he thinks he's being chased by Russians.
Oh, right.
The real the doctor tackles him.
And
Well, he
gives
just
him
got
the
punched
sedative.
in the face. What do you expect?
This is a very Hollywood thing too, where they made the doctor be about as sinister as he could be.
Right.
Like
True.
I mean, just
He had
his
henchmen.
manner and I mean, they
They attack
really
him
set
during
it
a
up.
speech? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
Well,
What's wrong with them? Come on.
The speech was going badly, apparently, but yeah,
That's a
It's
good
like, all right,
point,
guys,
John.
this
That's a
speech is
good
bad,
point.
and we got to
They're
get
like,
this guy
all right,
downtown.
well, we were going to
Yeah.
wait this one out, but he is screwing the pooch on this one. So.
Let's get him.
Yeah. Sir, he's not done yet. Fuck it, go.
Come on, it's bad, right? Yeah, it's
I
bad.
love
Okay.
the top hats on the henchmen. Like, that doesn't make them look sketchy.
And all black
again-
trench coats and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
And maybe what they're trying to do is give you a sense of how Russell's character was seeing them. Like they seemed very sinister to him. And so,
you think
like,
they were just wearing like plaid and blue jeans and like chilling,
Yeah.
and then like he
I
looks
don't
at them and they look all like
Yeah.
sinister?
But
I could buy that
Yeah,
because
who
we do
knows? Who
sometimes
knows?
go into Russell Crowe's head, but I don't like that part of the movie because it doesn't really tell you that's what you're doing in any
I know.
type of clear way.
right,
So I don't know. And also, who called the doctor on him? Like, there was
The
nothing
wife,
he did
right?
before he got tackled,
Well, and-
right?
Thought it
in
was the
real
wife.
life, in the real life, that was why Nash divorced his wife. Was because he blamed her for him being institutionalized when he was like that. She was responsible for calling the docs on him.
But he didn't really do anything before that, right?
Yeah.
To her specifically, that they showed us at least.
No, I'm not sure if it was clear who at that when he was first tackled, like who called the medical people there. As maybe he was just being a bystander. He's like, oh, this guy looks like he's having a psychotic break. Let's get him. I don't know.
Meh, could be.
Yeah. So I had a question about what he was actually doing when he was going to these places that he wasn't actually going to. But I think is what he was doing just in his hideaway room, cutting up newspapers and taping them to walls. So like
Yeah.
whenever we're seeing him go to a place that doesn't exist, in reality, he's just in a room somewhere, the two rooms at least that they find later on with all the newspapers, and he's clipping up newspapers and putting them on the walls.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we're
Circling
supposed
things.
to believe. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
and doing the 7 thing with the string.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of weird, I guess. John, does that happen with schizophrenia?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't.
He's not an expert.
Right,
remember?
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's kind of a difficult
No,
question.
no.
But
It's okay. I can't say I haven't seen necessarily that sort of thing. Like normally, it's at least the people that I worked with, it was more about stuff going on in the head.
Yeah, and I mean, the kid I knew, he just ramped up and had a ton of energy and just wouldn't chill, just be beatboxing and singing and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, he wasn't sitting still cutting shit out of magazines. I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It may be that seems more plausible to me than having these characters in your life that aren't really there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What else I got? I thought it was weird how when Jennifer Connelly comes and visits him in the mental hospital, he comes in, he's all like shackled up and stuff, and he's crazy. And when he gets pissed off at her, he just runs out of the room. Like the security guards don't stop him. Like he chases after him, but the security in that place is shit. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there.
Okay.
yeah.
Sure. Sure. Oh, yeah.
Security.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the scene where the baby bath scene where she's like, all right, I trust you. Sure. And then she goes outside, finds his hidden thing, and then runs inside,
Right.
and he's gone completely insane. Like, he wasn't that insane 5 minutes before. He has never been that insane before.
He wasn't complete. He just forgot. He just sort of.
He was he was talking about invisible friends and like chips that dissolved.
Well, no, I mean, he was talking about his friend was watching the kid,
And his
so-
friend was invisible, though.
right. Well, no, but that wasn't a point where he thought that the friends were invisible to other people.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, oh, you can't see him because he's invisible. I can see him because my chip dissolved in my arm and they're radioactive. And he just keeps like rambling about the shit as she
Oh, is
cries
that
and runs out of the
he
room.
Told her that. Oh, really? Is that when he says that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it felt like it was like too much crazy too quickly.
It seemed like it was it seemed like a movie. It seemed like a
Well,
very movie, you know what I'm saying?
Danny, it is a movie, you know.
But it's
Hey,
too
it's a
movie.
movie. It's a
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Too movie.
It's movie-ish,
Yeah.
if you will.
If you had a scale from negative 100 to positive 100, where negative 100 was play-y movies and positive 100 was movies.
Movies.
This would be a 95.
It'd be
On
just a
Rotten
movie.
Tomatoes.
It'd be right in the middle at a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put
Copy.
like Incendies like a 5. Little movie, pretty realistic. You know what I'm saying? Good
Sure.
scale. I'm keeping it.
Whatever.
Trademarking it.
You might be losing your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to find you in a room going, it's a movie. No, it's play. No, clicky. I don't fucking know. Shut up, everybody. It's movie. And then all we're going to know, John, that we need to, call somebody.
Put the pillow over his face, press down as hard as
Yeah.
you can, end it for everybody.
Just get him to shut up. Get him to shut up. No, you're good with this? No, you're not good. Okay, never mind. We'll let him go. We're going to get him in the hospital, though. Anywho.
She's going to stay with the unmedicated psycho. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, right. You're fine. You're just weird.
You're fine. Do you think she had a lock on her bedroom when they lived together?
Ooh, baby.
I don't know.
What do you guys think about the pen thing? That's the last question I have. Pen thing.
Oh, is that
Pen
a real thing?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
What was the pen thing?
It was
I
when, like, in
remember
the
the pen thing.
beginning, he was like first going to Princeton. He's like, check this out. And then like a really smart dude was getting pens from all these other smart dudes. And he's like, that's what you want. And then at the end, he gets the pens as the guy from the.
Oh.
Is that what they do when you get the Nobel?
Well,
Make a bunch of pens?
according to splendid.org, this was completely fabricated and no such custom exists.
So there's no pen given. Wow.
Why, Ron? Why?
I wanted to have like an everlasting pen collection.
All you have
Isn't
to do
that
is
what you
keep
go-
coming up with groundbreaking math
Isn't that why
equations.
you go get the prize? Jeez,
Yes.
the pens.
Never ending ink.
It is made up. It's just a clever and touching dramatic device, according to Quora here.
Quora here?
Quora, Quora, Quora. Just another website where you get answers.
It's like Yahoo Answers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta trust that. Definitely true. You guys know that Roger Deakins shot this movie?
Who's Roger Deakins?
He's the guy who does like all the Coen Brothers movies. And he does
Oh, really?
all like the Denis Villeneuve movies. He did like the new Blade Runner.
He's an old man, huh?
Yeah, he's pretty
taking
old.
69
taking
years
a
old.
break here.
I thought so, right?
He's a Brit.
It was okay. The lighting was nice, but like the camera stuff was kind of, there was a lot of soft, like, tracking ins like on people's faces and stuff.
So it's
Yeah.
just like a gimme for him.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
maybe he was just kind of just loafing it, just helping old Ron
Phoning
out.
it in. Yeah,
a
having
bit of a
fun with
loaf.
Ron. Really there
Yeah.
just to have fun more than anything else, not to like be too serious.
Everyone likes Ron. He's one of those guys.
I mean, that's kind of true.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Ron, we'll do that dusting again. You
I mean,
old
really, when it
rascal,
comes
you.
down to it, he's pretty much a well-respected and kind of prolific in the sense of like
Talented dude.
he's been
I mean,
making
yeah.
this kind of shit for so long.
I'm actually confused. Like his catalog isn't that good. I was looking at all the movies he's directed. They're not that good.
But he's got a lot of them.
He does a lot of kind of, but a lot of directors have a lot of movies, and I don't know why Ron Howard's like a household name.
I think he knows film in and out more than most people do.
It could be.
Hmm.
I think a
Possibly.
lot of people look up to him in the industry. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. There are only a couple here. Like Apollo 13 was good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Rush was good. Huh?
Well, you think so?
I thought Rush
Kid
was good.
TV was bad. How the Grinch Stole Christmas
I mean,
was
he
bad.
did all the Dan Brown book movies.
Yeah, Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, those were bad.
Cinderella
Willow
Man, I never
was
saw.
pretty bad. Sorry.
I liked
Nerds.
Willow.
I'm sure you did, John, but that movie sucks. Parenthood was bad.
Arrested Development.
I
That's
liked
funny.
Parenthood.
Cocoon was bad, right? Come on, give me Cocoon.
I liked Splash.
Sure.
You like
I was
Splash?
younger. I liked it when I was a little
Tom
kid.
Hanks
yes.
fucks a mermaid. That's a good movie.
Backdraft. I like
that's not
that
where
one.
I was.
That was so bad, but it was good at the same time. Cowboys vs. Aliens. You didn't like that one? Come on.
Did he direct that?
Far and away. that was,
Supposedly.
did he? Oh, that movie tanked.
I don't
Did
think he
he
did.
do that?
I don't know. It says it on his list in Google.
Ransom was pretty
Wow.
good.
Ransom wasn't bad.
Give me back my son.
Maybe he just acted it. You never know. I guess it could be any of it.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
acted
really
a lot more
directed.
stuff than he's directed.
He's got like 90 credits as a producer. Like
Damn.
a lot of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
can't talk too much shit.
No, you
8 Days
can't. I
a
mean,
Week.
he's.
Did you see the 8
you know.
Days a Week movie documentary he did?
No.
That was good. It was on the Beatles. It was their touring years.
Ooh.
That was done in 2016.
Oh damn.
It's really good.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it was. I thought like showing sort of the arc of the Beatles, like as they hit their they rose to fame, and then how they toured, and then why they stopped touring altogether. It was pretty interesting.
Was it because of Yoko? Was it Yoko's fault?
No,
Oh, was it John's fault?
It's always Yoko's fault. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think the most interesting thing about it was what it really showed was how initially they were just seen as these young innocent boys, and then how they, as these guys grew up and people became disillusioned with them because they had flaws or they weren't perfect or they did drugs or whatever, even though they were still producing amazing music, that just showing like sort of that change happening. Where they were like these young rock stars that were just idolized. And then as they became older and had opinions and became like real people, just sort of that, to me, that was really interesting about the film, just seeing that change. But also how they hated concerts because they couldn't hear themselves.
Because it was just
so
screaming.
Hey.
There was so much screaming. It was just
I mean,
like
that's got to
not
be
an
tough back
entertaining thing
then
for them.
when they didn't have control like they do now over stage sound.
Yeah.
Or like wearing like the correct, earphones that block out all that shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they didn't
Yeah.
know about any of that long-lasting stuff because
And
rock was
besides,
still pretty new.
I know.
Yeah, and with Ron Howard, I mean, too, he's been so long in the industry. He grew up in it. Like, acting.
Right. Acting,
Like
right.
Happy
From
Days.
Happy
and-
Days. God, how funny was
um,
that show? I loved that show.
I love that show. Yeah, he did a
Yeah,
lot.
you're right. He's kind of Hollywood
kid.
royalty in a way.
Yeah, as
really
a kid,
is.
he was like, what was he? He was on the Andy Griffith show, wasn't it? Like he was.
Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
he was. He was a little boy.
I
on
mean,
the
if
Andy
you
Griffith show.
if you start at that age and you're in the limelight and you're not doing what he's doing, you're kind of pathetic. Because you've had the keys to the castle the whole time.
Dead because you like gone.
Well, you
into
did
life on
drugs and yeah, you're right,
misery,
right.
I mean, but
But I mean,
so I
it's
don't
one
know.
or the other.
Yeah.
He chose to be productive, and he's obviously doing pretty well, and a lot of people respect him, and there's not much else to say about him. He does a couple crappy movies here and there. Who doesn't? Oh, fucking
That
know.
is true.
We're on a podcast.
Yeah, what do we know?
Okay? What do we know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I watched the commentary, guys, with Ron Howard himself.
yes.
Oh, how was it? Was it good?
Oh, nice.
Uh,
How was that? How does Ron come across?
He comes across as a very nice, appreciative guy.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
Sounds
he was
about
talking
right,
about,
yeah.
he gave credit to everybody else most of the time. He didn't take credit once entirely to himself. And even when it was like solely his thing, he still gave credit to other people. So he seemed like it would be good to work with him because he wouldn't be a dick, I guess.
Right. He'd just pay it forward all the time and be helpful and
keep everyone as friends, probably.
I feel like he'd be good at criticism, like with criticism and like giving.
Yeah, he's
it
like, well, I can
to-
kind of understand that. Yeah,
No,
Has
I
some
see your
difficulty
point,
with that
and I do
scene.
like that. I do get that. However, what do you think we about do it this way? And everyone's like, "No, I think you're Ron Howard. That's fine.
Yeah,
Sounds good."
Wait, what does my sticker say? Not director. Yours says director. We'll go with you.
We'll go with you. I mean,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me hash it out, though. No
Yeah.
problem, man.
It
Go
made
back
me
to
feel
your-
important for a minute there. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Glazer loves him too, right? I mean, it must be easy to work with. Those two work together all the time.
Yeah, the commentary was, I don't know. I listened to it and I was like, that was okay. And Naomi was kind of half listening to it and she liked it just from his attitude. She's like, I liked it how he was like saying
He's
thanks
like
to everybody.
pleasant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a good, it was pretty good, I guess.
Did you ever see Frost Dixon? I never saw that. I
I
wanted to.
didn't see that one either. I almost did, but then it looked really boring, so then I didn't. 7
Okay.
pieces of trivia, John. 7 pieces of trivia. How does that sound?
That sounds about right. Let's go.
Ron's wife was in the movie. Try to guess who she was. She's in it for like 2 seconds. She has a line though. No guesses? No one cares?
No. I can't for life me think of it. Who it would be? I don't know his wife. So is she? Okay, let's go.
It's when
find out who it is.
it's when Russell Crowe's going to give a speech at Princeton or something, and he's having hesitations as he walks up to the building, and they see him, and she's like, "Mr. Nash, over here," and like waves, starts coming towards
Oh,
him.
that was it.
That was her.
Okay.
That's her.
All right.
The writer of the screenplay was on set every day for rewrites, notes, and kind of improv lines. Like if someone's like, "We need to spice this up a bit," the writer would write stuff. So they were there on set the entire time.
All right.
And they were, rewriting it the entire time, which is strange for a movie like this, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. I guess.
The scene where Russell Crowe gets stabbed with a needle in the leg, that's a real needle, and they put a sandbag, taped it to his leg, and put it underneath his pants.
Ah.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah. And the sound it made when it stabbed the sandbag was so good. They tried to like recreate other sounds and they couldn't get anything. So like, let's just go back to the sandbag. And in the sound studio, they put a sandbag and stabbed it with a needle and then used that sound.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I would be scared about that scene.
Yeah. You're like,
I
are you
don't know,
sure
I'd be
this
just like,
sandbag is thick enough and that needle is short enough?
kidding. Like it's sand, man. It'll move around.
So
Like
you-
it could be
you're
like
definitely gonna
it could be
miss,
not
right?
enough there.
You're definitely gonna miss.
Damn. Yeah.
I bet Russell
Wow.
Crowe could have taken an entire needle to the leg. He's just got that kind of man.
He'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
He
turn into a
probably
wrestler
punched the
real
dude
quick.
that did it though.
Oi, time for a boat movie. What you say?
Fight around world.
Yeah.
Tugger! He just screams out, Tugger! Just like that.
The scene where he's trapped in the woods and the SWAT team is all pointing like what do you call them? SWAT guns or whatever, assault rifles
Yeah.
with flashlights at him.
Yep.
Those are all just broomsticks with flashlights taped to them.
Cool.
Awesome.
So they're on set. They're like, we're making a high budget movie here, guys. You feel kind of silly, but
Yeah.
Can't tell.
Go, SWAT team, go!
Yeah.
With this broom.
I'm gonna sweep and arrest.
It's just a broom, man. I can't do it.
The movie was shot and produced in sequence, so the characters could kind of more easily do the transition into crazy.
Fair enough.
The pigeons, a big clue earlier on in the movie that who he was seeing wasn't real. And I didn't notice this, and I doubt you guys did, but it was very obvious when you rewatched it with him telling you. There's a scene where the little girl, his roommate's daughter, or his roommate's niece or whatever, whoever she was, I think it was his niece, right? That he started taking
Yeah.
care of. Her, she's trying to scare pigeons away. She's running around in the field chasing pigeons. None of the pigeons are moving.
Oh, I see.
The pigeons are CG in that shot.
Oh, interesting. So they won't go away. Huh.
I missed that, right? That doesn't sound familiar to you guys?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember that, and yeah, I was just like, I don't know. Pigeons don't. I don't know. City pigeons don't care.
If you're a little girl chasing them, though, they're going to move. Like she was
They
on top
will
of
move.
them.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah.
And number one, the last one, that scene where he gets slapped by the woman in the bar, took 9
Right.
takes to do it, and it was
Why?
because the woman wouldn't slap him hard enough.
He's like, no,
Nice.
harder. She's like, I feel
Russell
bad.
Crowe
No.
also was like, "Do it, slap me harder."
slap me.
They don't want to slap Russell Crowe.
He's like, I fight. Okay, I can take it. Just slap me.
It took 9 times.
And the eight times were really weak. Can you imagine? Like, honey, we're making a movie here. It's got to look real. You can't
Yeah.
give me one of these.
You
You got to
just
really
gotta
hit me.
lay into it. Just lay into it. You're
Yeah.
fine. I'm not gonna hit you back. It's fine.
Look at how big my neck is. I was in
I bet you
Gladiator
a
last
couple
year.
times.
Damn it.
Yeah, right. I bet you a couple times he laughed too. There's
Yeah.
always like, it's not like, oh, she fucked up 9 times. It's
Pros
probably
yelling
like,
cut. He just
Yeah,
knows
right.
it's not working.
he's just laughing his ass off. All right, go again, go again, go
Yeah.
again. Do you think they have to like let the red go down because it'll show?
Oh,
that-
maybe. Maybe.
It's like take 5, take 10.
and
Everyone
they probably
go get a,
slap some of
coffee.
the makeup off him too, right?
right.
Some of like
Get
the
him
white
in the
powder.
wardrobe, get the
I
powder
assume they
back
put on
on.
everybody's face.
Yeah. I wonder
Yeah.
if Grazier has ever slapped him. I feel like he might have. Those two are like hand in hand, and they probably get into it.
Grazier. Who's Grazier?
Brian Grazier, the producer, they're like buddies. They do a lot of work together. I just know they're all over Hollywood all the time together as buds. So I feel like slapping is a thing. I don't know why.
I was like,
I don't know why. It's just coming up with it. I'm making it up. We're going with it. We're riffing here,
all
bud.
right, yeah. You just go, try that in a Hollywood bar. That's how
Yeah,
you get
see how that
noticed.
goes. Just slap them. Ah, that didn't look good.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Never mind. Don't do that.
Wait, what? You want another take? No, I mean, don't.
No.
slap
Like
me.
we're not shooting right now.
Well, I was
Brian,
just
we're
gonna-
not-
I heard that you got to
Yeah.
keep doing it if it's
Yeah.
not hard enough. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can slap
Right.
you again. No,
Right.
look, buddy.
Like they're getting drunk together and they're having this talk. Like I heard what you said in the commentary. Like, anyways, never mind. I'm on a tangent.
Grazier. That's all I got, guys.
Well, I mean,
right.
that's all I've got too. Then
And
Yep.
John. Who's more positive, John or TC?
not
John?
me.
John,
Definitely
would you put this
John.
in the top 250?
Nah.
Nah. TC?
No,
No. Danny? Nah.
definitely not.
Definitely no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I think
Yeah.
everyone would come away with this movie being like, that was okay. That was pretty
I
good.
think it's interesting. I think it's thought provoking, and I don't, I know that in there's historical inaccuracies to it, but I think it brings up some good topics, and so I don't.
For discussion, not so much trying to, like, some people might walk away from this and be like, I learned something. Now I don't need to
Right.
read up anything else because that's what
Yeah,
schizophrenia is, and that's what that guy
Right.
did.
That's true.
Right, and that's
That's probably
less
the
good.
majority of the people, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna
Fair
shut it off as soon as like we get through that part.
Yeah. So there's a problem there.
Sure.
I don't know, but what are you going to do with those people? They don't want to learn anyway. Yeah. Any more thoughts?
I don't like
Nope.
math.
We already went over that one, TC.
Oh, right.
You don't
It's
like
not
the
another
math.
thought. That's the other thought.
Still don't like math.
Never did calculus, C-. Don't like math. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Next week, guys, we're watching a very recent one.
Oh,
Oh,
good. Like
The Wolf
that.
of Wall Street,
Oh, okay.
2013.
It's a long
Yeah.
one, isn't it? I feel like
I
that's a
think it's
long
like
one.
3 hours. 3 hours exactly.
It might be a two-parter.
Yeah.
Leo and Marty, is that like the most frequent actor-director pair we have in the entire list?
I think definitely. I'm going to go ahead and say absolutely yes.
I was just, anyway.
I think you're right. And I think Leo might be one of the top actors in these movies because he's in a bunch of Spielberg
Probably, yeah.
ones too.
Uh,
But yeah, Martin Scorsese, based on the true story of Jordan Belfort, from his rise to a wealthy stockbroker living in doesn't matter. Anyway, who's seen this movie?
That was great.
Yeah.
That was a fucking beautiful way to just quit. Right.
Have you
there.
guys seen this before?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, have I. Cool.
Cool. I'm just
Yes,
glad
have
it's
I.
not from 1950. That's
I
all.
know.
Yeah.
The one after that might be though, TC. You always got to watch out.
No. It's like every time you get one new one, you get two old ones. It's terrible. The 1 to 2 rule for fucking film cast.
I think it zones in. I think like towards the end, it jumps like from the 30s to the recent, but by the end, it's like mostly movies from the 70s.
I mean, I'm okay with the 70s. I can deal
70s
with
are pretty
that.
good.
I just can't deal with the 50s been prior to the
Oh,
50s.
here's a question. Oh, the next one is kind of old, TC, but the
Ugh.
one after the next one, I wanted to ask you guys how we should do this one.
Okay.
It's Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh, God. Here we go.
So my question here is, TC hasn't seen any of the other Star Wars. Do we want TC to watch this one without having seen the other ones?
Ah,
Yeah?
Shit.
Well, do you think TC would put in the time to watch the other?
I'm still
No.
here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I don't think TC would like it. I'm just
on the
going to
phone
say.
right now, guys. This is a
Wait,
conference
wait,
call,
hey,
and I'm
TC.
still here.
TC,
All right.
we're not talking
Yeah.
to you right now.
Yeah.
We're talking about you, okay?
yeah,
So
right,
just
yeah.
stay
All right,
out
let
of
me
it.
disconnect him. Let me disconnect him.
Bring
Let me
up
disconnect him.
Timmy, would you? Because we need to talk about TC here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Fuck.
I'm just thinking, like, if you're not going to like The Force Awakens, I mean, you might not like any of the Star Wars, but you're not going to like it if you haven't seen the other ones. It's going to be like a last Harry Potter type of situation.
Oh man, I don't
So
know.
it might like ruin it for you. I was thinking, John,
I don't
as
think
a
it's going to
solution-
ruin it for me. I don't think I'm going to like it either way, and I'm not going to like
Yeah.
Star Wars. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
the same
it might
old thing.
not. But the option here is, do we want to push this all the way down to the other Star Wars and skip
swap
it
'em?
until later?
Nah, I don't think so.
Do a
I don't think
swap?
so.
Nah. Let's stick to the plan. We'll watch it through, and
I
I'll
mean,
just deal with
I
it.
think we are going to have a definite crisis coming up.
I already have a plan with the trilogies. There's a couple
yeah,
trilogies.
okay.
For
We're
which
gonna-
one's that?
we have the
Godfather,
Lord of the Rings, and we have Star
and the
Wars.
Star Wars. So we've got these three big trilogies where it might, you got to plan.
Should I watch
watch
Star Wars before we watch the other one?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it would
it'd be
help, but
better.
if you don't want to push it down, I don't think there's another good way to do
Yeah.
it.
And I feel
I
like
don't really wanna
I'm
push it
pretty
down.
competent. I can fucking follow. I'll be fine.
But The Force Awakens kind of, not to give away too much, kind of a lot of it is resting on nostalgia from the other ones.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the reason why it's good.
So there is that. So I think it makes for an interesting opinion to see what TC thinks of it.
He's gonna
watching
hate it.
without-
Guaranteed he's gonna hate it.
Well, that's fine, but it'll be interesting to still see what the opinion is there in terms of like removed from all the nostalgia that both of us have.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
So that'll at least be an interesting perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
As
try
long
and
as
keep it.
You don't mind, TC?
No, I don't care. You know
Okay.
me. I'm easy
Yeah.
going with that.
I
I'll
just
try to
know
do
for
a-
myself, like knowing me personally, I don't know what weird scenario this would be where I hadn't seen Star Wars yet, but I would want to have seen the other three before seeing The Force Awakens.
Oh,
Just
well, fuck
personally.
it.
Yeah.
Go
Okay.
We're doing it live.
Okay.
If you want to, we can. I mean, we can.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to check to make sure. So
Nah, I'm
yeah.
good. I couldn't care less either way. I'm probably going to like none of them, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
the most likely outcome.
Yes, right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Mission250filmcast.com and at gmail.com, Facebook and Twitter. Like and subscribe. Podcast app. 5 stars. Thanks, John TC. And Timmy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
All right, see ya.
Stop 'em.